Chicago, the third largest city in the U.S. Many people from different ethnic groups, of different national origins, and of different faiths call it home. Each one of Chicago's richly diverse traditions contributes a distinct flavor to the city's cultural salad bowl. The result is a unique metropolis of world-class museums, architecture, music, multi-ethnic cuisine, and nightlife. The Niagara Foundation was established by Turkish Americans as yet another contribution to Chicago's multicultural heritage, and as a way of celebrating and building upon those universal human values shared by the Turkish and American peoples. Niagara's main purpose is to forge bonds of lasting friendship between Turks and Americans by identifying what it is we have in common, by learning to appreciate and honor our differences, and by collaborating on mutually beneficial projects. Niagara Foundation is supported in large part by modest but crucial financial contributions from members of the Turkish American community. Equally important are the generous contributions of time and talent by a host of volunteers, dedicated to Niagara's vision of global human solidarity. Our first activities were neighborhood visits, shared dinners, and community-based dialogue programs.
It's part of our faith to know our neighbors and to share with our neighbors and to see each of our neighbors as someone who's a gift from God.
Through these programs, Turkish Americans and their peers from other communities began to know one another. Niagara members visited churches and attended university functions. Today, more than ever, our world is in desperate need of dialogue and mutual understanding. Most members of the Niagara Foundation are not only Turkish Americans, but they are committed Muslims as well. We have been living mutual understanding and dialogue as part of our daily lives since the Ottoman Empire through the modern and secular Turkey. Turkey has a strongly diverse background of cultures and faiths, and is a modernizing Muslim, democratic, and secular state. Niagara's mission includes representing this face of a tolerant, forward-looking Islam as taught by the great scholar Fethullah Gulen. Since its inception, Niagara has been working hard to establish meaningful and enduring friendships between Muslims, Christians, Jews, and people of other faiths. Toward that end, Niagara organizes annual interfaith dialogue dinners and meetings with people from a wide variety of religious traditions.
Every time I come to a Niagara event, not only do I feel like I'm being called more deeply into the spirit of dialogue in so many wonderful ways, but I also feel like I'm being challenged.
One of our prominent interfaith events is the Dinner of Abrahamic Traditions. This is a unique opportunity for members of the Jewish, Christian, and Islamic faiths to celebrate their shared roots and traditions, dating back to the life of their common ancestor, the prophet Abraham. Peace be upon him. Central to Niagara's vision is the belief that the most important investment for the future of our communities is education. Like so many others, we at Niagara believe that human beings acquire some of their most important lifelong values during the early stages of their education and development. We also believe, however, that the time for learning is from the cradle to the grave. That is why one of Niagara's principal commitments is to lifelong education for dialogue and mutual respect. As an expression of this commitment, the Niagara Foundation has established an educational institution which epitomizes our dedication to dialogue and mutual understanding. At the Science Academy of Chicago, an initiative of Niagara Educational Services, young people study in an atmosphere of ethnic diversity and dialogue, while developing the academic skills and talents that will enable them to achieve success. Cultural activities provide prime opportunities to share our unique identities with each other. Coming to know one another helps to dispel bias and stereotypes, all the while building trust and friendship. In this regard, the Niagara Foundation works to bring top-quality cultural activities to Chicagoans. In 2003 and 2004, the Whirling Dervishes of Turkey performed one of the world's most popular expressions of Sufi music and traditional meditative dance.
This is so incredibly beautiful.
Amazing. Just listening to the soloist sing was astonishing.
With the support of the Turkmen Golden Age Student Association, Turkmen folk musicians and dancers from Turkmenistan brought the sights, sounds, and rhythms of Central Asia to the doorstep of Chicago. It was a rare and treasured experience for the many Chicagoans who attended. Our commitment to dialogue and mutual understanding also takes place in the halls of academia. In the spring of 2005, the Niagara Foundation organized the Global Ethics Conference at Rockefeller Chapel with the co-sponsorship of the University of Chicago. The International Chicago Interfaith Gathering Symposium is one of the biggest initiatives that Niagara Foundation has done recently. It aspired to become an internationally recognized premier interfaith event that would play a global role in establishing good and deep relationships between people of diverse faiths, based on mutual respect, understanding, trust, compassion, and cooperation. By holding the Chicago Interfaith Gathering Symposium, we had an opportunity to promote global networks of interfaith activism and explored new ways of moving forward together in cooperation, while acknowledging and honoring our genuine differences by aiming to build our shared hopes and values. World-renowned scholars and activists participated at the Chicago Interfaith Gathering Symposium seminars, which were done at the University of Chicago, DePaul University, Loyola University Chicago, and the Lutheran School of Theology and Chicago Cultural Center. Niagara was also the co-sponsor of the International Conference on Islam at the University of Wisconsin at Madison. Educating ourselves about one another's traditions is the only way to battle misconceptions and quell our fears. The annual commemoration of the birthday of the Prophet Muhammad is a public event through which Niagara works to inform Chicagoans about the person, life, and work of the Prophet Muhammad. Peace be upon him.
is the first time I remember having a major event about the prophet in a public setting like this.
In addition to all these efforts, the Niagara Foundation sponsors dialogue trips to Turkey as yet another means of building bridges and strengthening friendships between the Muslim world and the West. Though hailing from different religious backgrounds, we find common ground through our travels, in which we share the same dining table. Chicagoans are presented with the opportunity to network with new and, God willing, lifelong friends as a way of strengthening even further our commitment to a global ethic of dialogue and mutual understanding. Our children's tomorrows depend on what we do today. We must continue to fight suspicion with dialogue, fear with education, and animosity with tolerance, mutual understanding, and respect. To do this every day, we must work harder than the day before. We hope that you will join us in the noble quest to build a better future for everyone, regardless of gender, race, class, or creed. Niagara Foundation, promoting global fellowship.